Tonight, news surveillance video shows the shocking moment police shot and killed a suspect on New York City's ritzy Upper East Side.
This situation could have turned out differently.
In the video, you see the suspect, identified by police as 20-year-old Elijah Brown, turn and point a handgun at approaching officers.
The individual immediately discharges the firearm at the officers. With multiple civilians in close proximity, the officers return fire and strike the individual.
Here you see the officers open fire. Bystanders scramble for cover. Brown was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. No one else was injured. Police say it all began around 7 p.m.
With multiple civilians in close proximity.
Okay, so I just kind of rewinded the video just a little bit. So a young male in his 20s, looks like a black male, but I'm not gonna, I mean, it looks like a black male in his 20s in New York City, New York's Upper East Side, as they say here in the lower thirds. Man, just walking out casually with a gun, and it's a lot of different civilians just walking around, a lot of citizens just walking around, and it kind of looks like a normal night in New York. And this could have been real bad. Like, people definitely don't have any type of, people of malicious intent. They don't have any type of regard for other human life. Especially if you're just walking around brandishing a handgun. Like, I'm not sure. I have to get more information on why he would be walking around brandishing a handgun, which hopefully I think in this video they're going to have a little bit more information. But you turn around and you point the gun at officers and you let off shots. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to light you up. You're gonna get filled full of holes like Swiss cheese. I mean, you're gonna get filled full of holes. They're not gonna play around with you or anything. Like, do people not know what's been going on in America with all the gun violence and stuff like that? But especially you shooting at officers, they're trained to use lethal force at that point. And you see multiple officers with their handguns drawn. Do you think all of them are going to be on the same page or think, well, he's not going to shoot us? No, they want to return home to their families the same way as anybody else would. So they're not just going to let you just shoot at them. This is not Grand Theft Auto. I think people kind of are in like a dysphoria where they just feel like that this is the wild wild west where they could just come out and draw and take 10 paces and or they think that they're going to spawn back once they get shot and stuff like that. Not all the time, man. And police officers are trained to use their weapons. I'm not sure if this young man was trained to use this weapon or not. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. One thing I do know is, you should never ever point a firearm at a police officer and expect a good outcome. It's not going to be good for you. And, it's unfortunate this young man lost his life. You never know his background or what he could have been going through or what he could have became in the future. But this was definitely a dumb decision. Definitely something that he should have maybe thought through. And if you have officers running after you and you have a handgun and they're telling you, stop, freeze, get on the ground, put the gun down, if you comply, you more than likely can save your life. And you don't want to be putting other people, innocent people, in any type of harm or any type of any type of danger because they're going to take your life to spare the lives of many. And that's just how it goes. It was a lot of people, in the street. As I'm going to play the video again and we're going to watch this again. And then I'm going to let the video play so I can get more contents to what happened. But definitely a dumb decision, which unfortunately ended in this man losing his life. And I think it was saying he's in his 20s. So you have your whole life ahead of you. just dumbfounded on the decisions and the thought process of certain individuals, and the choices that they choose, and the decisions that they make. But let me just play the video again here.
The officers return fire and strike the individual.
Here you see the officers open fire. Bystanders scramble for cover. Brown was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. No one else was injured. Police say it all began around 7 p.m. Thursday.
An individual walked into multiple locations with a gun, menaced multiple people with that gun,
including an apartment building and a nearby deli, before making his way to the world-renowned Mount Sinai Medical Center.
He encounters an off-duty member of the service who is working a paid detail security post at the hospital. The individual grabs the NYPD member from behind, and a brief struggle ensues.
Police say Brown then left the hospital and picked up the gun, which he'd left on the ground outside. He made it a couple of blocks before this final deadly encounter. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News, New York.
We thank.
As we were seeing here, he definitely raised the gun up. Definitely a shot went off. I don't think he had a chance to even shoot two shots before the officers, fired back, and it was multiple officers. So, I'm sure he was hit, several times, and then, as you were seeing from, one of the clips here, the officers, they shot multiple times at him. But they said, he was going around with this gun, menacing civilians and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's like 3 officers here. Then I seen there was another one that looked like maybe an undercover officer that was more so to the left. And so it looked like at least 4, maybe 5 officers, was approaching this guy with a gun, and sure they were screaming out, what to do. Then if you look down by the car here, you have, an innocent man, looks like he was walking and he just had to get down, and he was definitely in the line of fire, and then, you definitely had several other citizens that just barely was able to make it into this establishment as shots are ringing off. Barely was able to make, any of them could have been struck. I see 5 people, 4 on my left, 1 there by the car, who eventually looks like he just got down, which was the best thing to do. And even if you get down, bullets can ricochet. It's once a bullet leaves out of the barrel, there's no telling where that bullet can go. That bullet can go anywhere. And as they always say, it's a lot of phrases and stuff that people say that kind of stick with me. But bullets ain't got no name. Bullets ain't got no name. They don't have, a certain path that they're gonna go. Like I said, they can ricochet off stuff, and when it ricochets off, it could gain more momentum in the way that it's traveling. Bullets travel through objects, bullets travel through people, and it's unfortunate that this young man lost his life. But it is good that there wasn't more casualties and stuff like that. And we have to make better decisions out here, especially as young black men. If this is a black man or just any man, but specifically to my young black men, this is not the days of old to where you're gonna do stuff and really get away with it. And there's cameras everywhere. We have cameras of every angle of what happened in this situation. There's cameras all over. Cameras on cars, cameras on buildings, cameras in street lights. There's cameras everywhere. People have their phones, which have 3, 4 cameras. I remember when phones had 1 camera. Now we have like 3, 4 cameras. Well, it's just a camera, but it has multiple lenses. And you have a front and a back camera. So there's cameras everywhere. So come on, we have to make better decisions. And like I said, I don't know the full story of what this man was going through, but you don't want to go up in hotels or apartment complexes or bodegas with your firearm out, brandished and stuff like that, because You know, people want to return home to their families. People want to be safe. Nobody wants to get shot. Nobody wants to die. People want to live their lives. And this is a very, very unfortunate situation. I know more is going to come out of this story here. So, you know, I'll definitely have my antennas up and tuned into what's going on here. Very, very unfortunate. But hopefully, you know, a lot of people see this and use this as a learning lesson, man. You have to make better decisions, especially decisions that could cost you your life. Um, that's just that. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. If you're liking this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. It definitely helps me get into the algorithm, and it'll get my videos out to more people so that they can see my perspective and my opinion on these things and this breaking news as it happens. But once again, this is Justin Paul. Peace.